those things. I mean,
We live. Let's share.
we on.
Yeah,
Never go to sleep with.
Oh man,
we live. Mm. Why not, y'all? We're going to talk about it anyway. Ugh. We getting there, y'all. Some technical difficulties today. Life is life, and
yo, you see they changed all the functions on Facebook, like how you share and everything. Share and everything.
We have some interesting topics tonight. Even though for the most part, everybody out there, we're winging it. We're running a little late. Most people probably think we ain't doing one tonight. But we are. Not going to let y'all down. Nope. Not going to do it. Yo, what's on tonight? Any football?
Yeah, Jackson State is playing Memphis. Is playing Middle Tennessee State now. Rich Rodriguez is chewing them up with that old power read offense he used to run at West Virginia.
You put it on. Why not? As we talk for Christmas chat, we're going to get Tito a sweater. His signature is the cut off arms, man.
Oh, they stayed hating, shooting.
You ain't see the other day, everybody was like, yo, that's your signature. Everybody know you by that.
Well, listen, I stand on what I stand on. I'm going to get on my main shit. I'm completely comfortable with who I am. There's nothing you can do to get me off my square.
Arky, what up, man?
What up, Arky? Come on, let's get to it, baby. Yo, I'm off at 10. I got to go to work. I told you, I ain't want to do this from work. So I stayed on.
All right.
I met a boy today.
That's me.
So fine.
If you know, tap in, share the post. It's your boy PH, aka The Press, aka Mr. Above 140.
Come to my town and get with me. She love I'm around.
It's not about the amount of talent you have. It's 100% about the work ethic. Ask your coach or anybody that's been doing this.
I met a boy today. So fine.
Why is it? And they're going to say, oh, we can't, it's illegal. Cut this. Cut it out. All you coaches out there, cut it out. Because that's BS.
H the Prez, Mr. Above 140. We only doing this for 50 minutes today, and I'm here with the co-host.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General, 860 Army.
All right. Here's our first thing, y'all. Tito, let me say this. I always wonder, and I was talking to you about this, so if we're playing at 13U, Tito, and I get mad, I'm losing 30-0. My kids could never play in AYF or UIFL or Pop Warner or YNC ever again. I start a fight with your team, Tito. My kids, and this happened to the Hartford Hurricanes before. I'm not going to get into it. I literally start beating up your kids. Your kids run to protect them, they players. My kids run. I throw a punch at you. You throw a punch at me. Nothing happened. We break it up. They disqualify both teams. So here's my question. I think it's disingenuous that the team losing can start a fight. And if the team that's winning in the tournament and that's going to proceed is the ones that get kicked out as a result of responding to the fight.
Well, yeah, we've seen it happen. Didn't it just happen this weekend somewhere? Didn't it happen in one of the,
at least they're claiming that.
Right. I mean, there is, and that goes back to the whole conversation we was talking about the shaking hands. Maybe in some situations, it may not be the best thing to do, especially in a situation if it's a highly emotional game and somebody's going home. We tend to see these blow-ups happen at those situations. That's why I'm saying it goes back to that conversation that, you know, maybe it's time to look at how we approach the end of the game. What's up, Pavement?
Well,
what up, Julie Lark? What up, Lark?
Even in the game, I'm playing Jordan's team. One of my players get mad that Jordan player scored, haul off, throw a haymaker at him. Jordan player ducks, scoops me on my player, and they have a little scuffle. We break it up. They suspend Jordan player for next week. There is no repercussion for the kid that started the fight. His season is over anyway.
Right. The only person that has to lose there is the victor. The only person that has to lose there is the victor. And we've seen in situations.
We forget about the fact that they're kids. And every person, every man, we are out there teaching men to be, we are out there teaching people to be young men, right?
We're trying.
So
We're supposed to be doing that.
So here's the thing. I teach young men to protect themselves. Don't start a fight, but I can't ask you not to protect yourself. Mid-America did that to Rick. The last year we were at Disney, I remember at the end of the game, when they lost, Rick's team knew enough to get back to the sideline ASAP without retaliating. The Mid-America team was walked out of their hotel to get their crap and off the Disney property. Had we interacted, we would have been going too. I remember that, Kebby. I even remember one of your kids running to his sideline because he didn't want to have to deal with it. But here's my question. Let's say they had caught one of Rick's kids on the ground. They was trying. Let's say they had grabbed him, Tito, and they was doing this. And the other two kids on West Haven was like, no, y'all not doing that to my boy. They grabbed them and pushes them off. They suspend all of those kids. The other team was the clear culprit. Now, at nationals, that's a different story. But locally, there is no resort to kick them off. There is no pack your bag. They're going home anyway. And so I just don't think it's fair that the winning team, clearly, if they're not the culprit of starting the fight, should not, I don't know about should not have no repercussions, but they can't be suspended is my point. I just don't think it's fair.
No. What are you suggesting? We're talking about it. What would be the suggestion?
Well, I'll tell you what I think the suggestion should be. I think that if the losing team initiates the fight, that it automatically goes to a tribunal and a film review, assuming there's film.
What if there's no film? What about the same?
Because you cannot, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I would never do this for the record. What is to stop me from going to 13U? And if we're losing in the Pop Warner regionals or Pop Warner playoffs, tell my players, yo, go start a fight. F that. Let's get them kicked out too. Especially when I know your players ain't no punk. What's to stop me? I will get absolutely zero repercussions. I'm going home anyway. I'm going to next month.
I think it goes back, especially in that situation where we talked about a couple weeks ago, and we've talked about it multiple times on the podcast. That's where I'm going with it, Jordan. Maybe it's time to look at the way we handle the post game, especially in emotionally charged situation in playoff type atmospheres and emotionally charged situations.
Listen, I'm not. You right, Wes. But what you can't do, I don't think, is you can't give the team that was attacked a pre-pass. That's what I'm trying to avoid, right? If you didn't start it, you automatically will not get in trouble. You can't do that, because if you do that, the team, I'm gonna let you swing, and right after you swing, I'm wilding out because you started it and I got an automatic pass. So it can't be an automatic pass, is my point. There has to be some repercussion to a limit to the team that if you're stumping my player and I go push two kids off and grab my player out of it, there shouldn't be no suspension. You stumping a player, I get him out, then we run to your sideline, scoop a kid, slam him on his neck, and start pinging him up. So that's why I said it has to be a review of the facts. Now, I'm not saying they'll always get it right, but I definitely think there has to be a review. It can't be just an automatic suspension of all the players involved. I mean, y'all can tell me what y'all think. I just don't think that would be cool. I really don't. Let me get out the screen to do this. Hold on. The kids would be using that pre-pass. Yeah. If you know, think about what happened if the court system right now passed or pre-pass, Tito. Meaning, see, if anybody swing at you, now you have it's like stand your ground, basically.
No, but I mean, you
You
can't.
can stand. If stand your ground was around the U.S., everybody and their mother be using that law every time they did something to somebody. $500 fine, but a $500 fine to who? To the team that started the fight?
Right,
I would even go to AYF or leave AYF
Right,
and go to AYF now and not pay you. What are you going to do? You can't force me to pay you. I think it should be case-by-case situation. Every situation different. It can't just be one punishment for all. I kind of agree with that. I think they need to hold the coaches themselves accountable, because if my team was losing, it started a fight, then they need to worry about answering to me, not about what the league would do. And yes, I'm cheer, but my girls would never cause me to be pissed off. Them and my coaches know I don't tolerate that. Right, Kebby? But what about when it was done to you and that organization does nothing? What's the accountability level? Everybody don't have a Kebby, right? And so that's my point. Like, what should be the league-wide rule so everybody know every association is held accountable? Because everybody don't have that. Have a conference and regional members at all games on the sideline. That's tough. During playoffs, that's tough. I mean, you take New England, Pop Warner region, they can't be at every game in the playoffs. You got 4 leagues, possibly 2 sites each. That's 8. There's not even 8 regional members. And then they'd have to stay there all day.
Right. Some will have to travel. Some will have to go here.
Desmond, you said find the coaches. The coaches will just leave. Or the program will just go to a new league. Fines only work if they plan on staying. If Hartford not staying in Pop Warner can't find me. I have no incentive to pay. Listen, the reason we're talking about this is a sticky situation that happened. And so, you know, we like to talk about stuff that's real, that happened, and stuff that nobody thought about. And how could we resolve an issue like that? Because that's a real issue, and it's tough. There is no real easy way to do it. Let me show you guys what the post was. Let me show everybody what This was me and Tito talked about it before, but just happened so today. Somebody posted this. It said, "I have a question." We ain't gonna read all this. My 13U played the first round of an 8-game playoff, and they was winning 26-6. They won 26-6. One of the losing parents came on the field at the 50-yard line, started using racial slurs to her players on the other end to their AD. An altercation then started. No punches was thrown by either side. However, video evidence to the backstory, the commissioner only heard the other team's side and what happened. This is a little different. Then decided both teams need to be suspended. The punishment only affects the winning team. Although they suspended them without informing them, they got suspended. They took a vote of the chapter of all presidents. Now, Tito, here's the tricky part. The problem with that is if Tito's the number 1 seed and I know I can't beat Tito, but I'm the second best team, I'm voting for Tito to get out. Because now it becomes what's beneficial for the rest of the teams in the playoffs. If the number 1 seed beat the number 8 seed, all of us, Tito, can get the number 1 seed out. Let's just vote them out. Who wants to have to play the number 1 seed? So I think it's a little disingenuous to even do it like that and let the entire league take a vote. It should be the executive board, because hopefully your executive board is doing what's best for the league. Presidents of towns will always do, or is expected, and some would say somewhat voted in to do what's best for their town. If it's best for Hartford, that team going, Hartford elects Phil Bryant to make sure that I take a vote that's most beneficial for the Hartford Hurricanes. That's not being dirty. That's not dirty tricks. You cannot like it, but that's why they elect you guys presidents. Pay the coaches first if they're going to fine us. That's a good point. It's hard to get coaches, but you need to have ones that buy into your philosophy. That is 100%.
Well, the standard has to be the standard. And I was talking to somebody, actually, I was talking to Cotton about it today. You know, somewhere along the line here, especially in the youth space, we fell below the standard. Because I hate to bring it up, like we always talk about when we came into this, bro. The stuff we see now, you couldn't act like that and get into a league. You wouldn't have got no games for real. We're not getting games now. But back then, you really wouldn't have got games.
True.
You really had to present to get in these leagues. Coaching jobs weren't around like that. You had to wait your turn to get a head coaching job. Now anybody just gets them. The standard, we forgot about the standard. The standard is no longer the standard. We're no longer above the line. We're below it.
Part of that is everybody with an attitude could start a program. And when everybody with an attitude can start a program and get into something, what happens is now everybody is strained for coaches, because now you'll have a program of 2 teams, Tito.
Yeah,
and you know what? For 15 years, putting 16 kids on the field, 2 teams. They'll have 32 kids in a program, call themselves a program, and they're operating. Because they don't want to go across the street because they got them under their skin. They got mad. They got under their skin. They started their own program. They're getting beat with their brains beat to shreds on a football field. But it doesn't matter. They're a boss. They run their own program, and they get to run it ragged because some other program wouldn't let them be raggedy.
Right.
So now they get to run their own raggedy stuff.
Right, but here's the problem. In Connecticut, there's really everything's been exhausted. There's nowhere for nobody to go. Most big cities are 2-team situations. There's some smaller towns that are 2-team situations. There's really no room for growth. And this is where I believe we got in trouble, because everybody started the second chapter. But when you had all the tri-valleys and tri-towns and stuff like that, the football was better because there was less organizations. Organizations were more vibrant because they had a better draw of kids. Now you thinned it out everywhere to the point that you have organizations that can't fill organizations top to bottom, and there's gaps in the schedule. It's all the same conversation. It's all the
So-
same conversation.
I want to talk to Kay real quick. Kay Monet here. My son has come to me and told me players are doing during the game. Nothing is ever done. All I know is nobody better not touch my son. Kay, what would you do if somebody touched your son? I'm just curious, right? I want to educate you a little bit, Kay, that nobody knows what these players say to each other on the field. Unfortunately, players are talking to other players on the field, and refs nor coaches hear them. And probably, I don't know how old your son, but if your son is 10 years old, it's likely between now and the next 3 years, there's going to be some kid that pushes your son to the ground, mushes your son, or wrestle with your son or swing at him over an attitude. The reason I'm asking you, Kay, is I'm wondering, are you going to be the parent that's going to run out the stands and run on the field to try to beat up the other 11-year-old? You said nobody better not touch my son. I think that's the wrong attitude that sports parents should have. I think we should teach our children to protect themselves, but we're going to send these kids off places. So I don't think it's beneficial for parents to go at this thing with a "don't put your hands on my son," because what are you going to do other than hope that the referee throw a flag, the coaches pull him off the field, he's ejected, etc. Just ask it. I'll get to your answer. I would absolutely vote against West Haven if we were in the wrong. I don't want the reputation of my town. True. Everyone can coach now, he said, Tito. That is true, too. Matt, what up, Matt? I was in Hampton. I didn't see you.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Not everybody should be coaching. And we know about a couple situations. We know about a couple situations where it's been proven why everybody shouldn't be coaching.
True. Do not run onto the field. Hopefully not. Fellas, I wanted to get a team in Pop Warner on AYF. What is the standard to get a program started? How many teams do I have? I know you're being facetious, Gil, but I'm going to answer your question. I don't know about AYF. In Pop Warner, if you wanted to start a team, start a team. Just say you want to start a team. Get a 501c3. You become nonprofit through Pop Warner, which is a great thing, by the way. Saves you a lot of money. As long as you're not intruding on anyone's territory when you iron out where you're going to be. For instance, if you're going to be in Fairfield, there's no Fairfield team. I don't think there'll be anyone to stop you from joining Pop Warner. I believe Pop Warner's going to Boundaries next year, but as it stands right now, you would choose the league you want to join, start a team. There is no minimum amounts of teams to join.
You would need to produce a field. You have to produce equipment. You have to produce a registration process, bank account. You know, all the white tape.
The stuff that these kids
Yeah, but that stuff has always happened. To be honest, we all
told me some of the not so bad stuff.
If you play competitive sports, you know kids are gonna be kids. Like kids are gonna be kids, and shit's gonna happen, and they're gonna pull each other in the piles and pinch each other and twist and do all the dumb. That's what kids do.
Your son knows how to protect himself. He's not a problem child. No, I wasn't castigating him as that. Okay, I was asking. You kind of gave me the vibe, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know you. I don't want to put nothing on your name. I was getting the vibe that you were saying that they better leave, because you hear, oh, they better not touch my son. I was getting the vibe that you were saying that. So I was saying, hypothetically, if another kid touch your son, what is your reaction? That's what I was saying. Wayne, what up, Wayne? Oh, Phil, there are boundaries. You need a scoreboard. They check your field. So Connecticut did not have boundaries, Wayne. I've been told that Nationals is not allowing Connecticut to not have boundaries anymore. So starting next year, Central got a boundary, Southern has a boundary, Northern has a boundary. Our teams, don't quote me on this, it's what I'm being told possibly, that our teams are going to be reshuffled to play in their boundaries. Now, that process could be opted out by a certain number of things. I don't think there's no process for that yet. But I was told that we're going to have to now abide by boundaries, which I don't know if I'm for or against it yet. But that's what I was told. I would never put my hands on any one kid. I wouldn't want anyone to put their hands on mine. That's good. Hold on, my bad. Connecticut youth football need a reset. So that's the next topic, Tito. I am tired of the dream that all of you guys have. Kel, what up, Kel?
What up, KR?
Tito and I, league boundary, Sid. League. Southern has a league boundary of certain coverage of Connecticut. Central have a league boundary of certain coverage. Northern Connecticut, Pop Warner, has a league boundary of certain segments of Connecticut. That's what I meant. Let me finish these before. If I let my son let it happen, he knows we are going to have a talk football. I know things will happen when it's done, the season over problem. True. Bucksmont, the whole league has boundaries except Ena, who is a church. They have no boundary. All they get is kids from all over Philly. That's why Ena is so good. There is always going to be some talking back and forth with these kids. What the kid needs to learn is not to let their emotion dictate their actions. That is what causes the fights with the kids. You see it every game. That is a referee, everyone. As a coach, it is our responsibility to de-escalate hostile situations that may occur. We as coaches, staff, take on the responsibility of keeping them out of danger when they are at the football game or practice. True, but let me tell you, coaches, something. Do not ever touch another child's on another team. Don't tell me you were de-escalating nothing. The parents from the other team already don't like y'all because you're probably winning. You run on the field, you grab the kid, and you separate them. Let's say you push both kids like this, but the kid on the other team trips. You think that you only push them the same speed. Perception is reality. If it's perceived that you push this kid harder than your kid and this kid trips because he tripped over a friend's feet, it looked like you just hit a kid and he fell. Coaches now have to protect their children because their parents want them to. So now you and the coaches are having a back and forth friction. Dad is probably on his way down the stands. We know Mama Bear is, right? On the way down the stands to confront you. It is important that everybody touch your own kids. Don't touch anybody else's. If you're putting hands on a kid, that's not de-escalating. Well, if there's two kids locked, I expect if me and Tito know each other, we can run up. I'm going to grab my kid off and Tito can grab his kid. That's what I was talking about. All right, Tito. I want to get back to a point that G-Pat made. And it's a point that Trevor put up on the chat room as well. And it's this belief that this grandiose reshuffling of a league in Connecticut is going to happen. It is not going to happen. Tito have told y'all why, but we'll have the discussion again. It is not going to happen. Partly because stuff like this, Tito. I'm going to show you why. Because I see people say stupid stuff like this all the time. I don't mean no disrespect to you. In my opinion, this stuff is absolutely nothing. So somebody hypothetically asked this question. Guerrero. AYF is better than Pop Warner. Now, I don't know who Mark is. I think I might know who Mark is.
He's from PAL.
From PAL. And the AYF, these people believe a league is better than a league. That's not, listen, when you get to know these in and outs of youth football, a league do not dictate anything. I love when I hear the ignorance of coaches and people go, oh, there's more talent in AYF than Pop Warner. There's more talent in Pop Warner than AYF. You don't get to see talent. I will tell you, nationally, you can say it's more competitive in certain leagues. But you don't know if it's more talent. Tito's son could be the best player in the state and be playing in the CTYFL. Look at the kid that was from Norwalk that you played against. That kid was very fast. I had never seen that kid play football. He wasn't an AYF or Pop Warner that I knew of. He played against you in the All-Star game. What was his name? He scored a touchdown. The ball hit the ground. He picked it up.
A couple years ago, you talking about Easton.
I had never seen that kid play football. When I saw that kid pick up, I said, this could potentially be one of the fastest kids in the state of Connecticut. But we operate with this mindset that Pop Warner AYF is all that's out there football-wise. When honestly, what is that? Maybe 5% of you football players in the nation? Maybe. It's the loudest. It's the loudest, the most people that's most belligerent. They talk about it the most, at least locally. That is not always the best. So now we're talking about these grandiose idea that there's going to be this reshuffling, this massive league's going to come together, and all the best football teams going to be there, and we're going to field teams from 6U all the way to 13U, and everybody will be able to play and all of this. There's just one little problem, Tito. People do not get along and don't want to be around each other. I'm going to give you an example. I'm looking at the board, Tito, and I'm seeing big city teams canceling games against big city teams. So when you say this grandiose league, it's already big cities canceling games on big cities. It's not Newington canceling on Hartford. This is city teams canceling on city teams.
They don't even want to play each other.
Right. So the problem, again, I always say it, it's us. But it's a bigger point that you made when you were talking to me. I'm going to let you make it about it always comes the fail.
It's going to come down to simply everything is kumbaya until we get to the part where we're going to talk about who's running the league. And then because what we're programmed to do as minorities, and this happens every time. Just look at the podcast, how much hate, just look every time. Soon as somebody gets a little bit ahead, they just could be a little bit ahead or whatever, or they're perceived to be a little bit ahead. Here come the wolves coming for the whole flock. All the haters, here they come.
No. What's going to happen is going to be a group of people that get together and go, we don't have to be under them.
Right.
Let's start our own league. And they'll get 5 for 6 people, and they'll break off and start their own.
They got better ideas.
And it's going to be back to what it is now.
Right.
People don't, the truth is, and look, y'all can say,
the truth is we can't police ourselves. As minority men, we're incapable of doing things amongst each other because we're programmed to destroy each other instead of figuring out how to work together. And as much as we could, we had this conversation 2 years ago, nothing came out of it. If somebody else wants to try it again, I will be there. But I know for a fact how this is going to go. So listen, we could try it again and let's see. But you guys are putting it together this time. And me and Phil are just showing up. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
LJ,
we did it already.
What is it that you want to try, LJ? When
right,
you say try it and see.
Guys try
LJ, how about this? I'm tired of you guys putting it out there. LJ, I'm going to put it on you. How about you and Waterbury Knights start first? How about y'all meet? Y'all come together as one organization. Let's start it on a smaller scale before we ask the whole state to do it.
Or the whole
LJ,
region.
in the next month, tell me what comes out of your meeting with the Waterbury Knights and the Waterbury Patriots becoming one program. Then maybe, just maybe, Bridgeport can mimic you. Then Hartford can mimic you. Then New Britain can mimic you. And then everybody will mimic it. After we mimic it, then we all come together and start one big league. And guess what, LJ? You know how many teams you got. You know how good you could be. Hartford will have the same amount of teams as New Haven. We'll have the same amount of teams as Waterbury. We'll have the same amount of teams as New Britain. We'll have the same amount of teams as New London. We'll have the same amount of teams as Norwich. And guess what? That's where you have your thriving league. Every level. Everybody's talented. Nobody's scared to show up. Whole city at the game. Whole city is supporting you. We have just built something that's so monumental that is going to take a giant rock to crack. But you can't ask to do it on a statewide level if you're not willing to do it on a smaller level in your own city. Just my opinion, brother. Once you bring up who's going to run the league and who's on the board, watch the
every time. And listen, trust me, this is nobody else doing that except us. It's gonna be our people. It ain't gonna be no outside force. It ain't gonna be no outside force that ruins it. It's gonna be happening with the cat next door. Trust me, because that's what we're built to do. That's what we're programmed to do.
It won't get past the conversation of who's
It won't.
Would love to see the reason why Lil old CT don't got no love, because we don't got no love for each other. It's true.
We don't.
Say less. Let's talk to them on LJ, November 23rd, before Thanksgiving. Our podcast, I want to get you on live. I don't want to even talk to you in private. If it's assuming there's some details you can share publicly, I would love to have you on live and let you talk about it. New Britain, it'll never happen. True. We live in fickle.
Listen, Kennedy's always a voice of reason. What does he mean by that? Ask Kennedy what he means by that. I ain't trying to be funny. Like,
hey, Matt, what do you mean by fickle
to
times?
elaborate. Tell him to
I
elaborate.
think you mean by emotional times. I could be wrong.
Right. But
We
tell him to
live
elaborate.
at, you know, any little thing can throw you off track. I could be wrong, Matt. I'll let you speak for yourself. A rotating board. What does that mean? Rotating boards are always
Every 2 years.
elected every 2 years. In some cases, every year.
Right. No, well, usually you got half the votes up 1 year and the other half
Not
the next year.
Southern's annually.
Oh, annually? All right. But I'm saying there's leagues that have it like that where
our league in Central is every 2 years.
This position on an even year, this position on an odd year. So it's never a wiping out of a whole board. They kind of like stagger it out.
Why not? Why not wipe out?
I mean, listen, bro, I don't believe in boards, period. I'm the wrong guy to talk to about that. I'm the wrong guy. I don't operate like that.
You don't even think a league should have a board?
No. You need listen, who's going to set the rules and the parameters and hold people to the standard? Absolutely. A league needs order. You can't operate without order, a league. But I'm talking about as far as when it comes to executive.
Hey, Gil, you know what? I got it, y'all. I figured it out. Over the next 3 Wednesdays, I would like to have 2 presidents or 3 in the same town to have an open discussion live on air in front of everybody. I may not resolve everything. Is there any 2 presidents out there from the same town that's willing to have that discussion publicly? Because I think we need to see what is it that drives it. Nothing disrespectful. I think it'll be hot if we could get 2 presidents from the same town to agree to come on live and we have a genuine discussion about what it would take to get the town together.
Let's see who volunteers first.
I'm not gonna hold my breath, man.
Let's see who volunteers first.
Somebody like Stagger, somebody like Elect. Hey, it looked like Bridgeport is on the way. They saying let's do it. Won't happen. Too many egos. Everybody's saying the same thing. I just seen some presidents log off. Facts. Start with Hartford. Somebody tag Vaughn. I'll have the conversation right now. I'll bring Vaughn on right now. We got a conversation. Ain't no shame in my game about discussing it. For the record, I once met with Vaughn, so everybody could know. Vaughn could vouch for this. And we met and talked about getting together. And I offered to put up not only $25,000, but give up the presidency and vice presidency. That's all true facts. It was me. It was my vice president.
I knew you.
That was in Hartford High.
You set yourself up for this conversation.
Jackson, that was in Hartford High. That's at Hartford High now. Yeah. And it was Vaughn in the room. 100%. That's all facts. I don't got to lie. It was a long time ago, but I told you I once did it. Bridgeport need to do it. Get New Britain going. Let's go, New Britain. What up? See? There you go. And that wasn't the first time I had conversation.
No, you tried in 09. You tried, remember in 09.
Yeah, we did.
or 210. Maybe it was 210 or 211.
Absolutely. Any little thing set people off so they bounce. It's what you have done for me lately. Parents have a crazy, unrealistic expectations. Kids run some households and more glitz and glamour than learning the sport. Parents are completely out of control with their expectations. Well, we tackled that last time, Matt, right on the head. Phil, that's putting your money where your mouth is. It's true, I did. I don't know if they'd have called my bluff if I would have did it, but I would have probably had to because I put it out there. But I did. I absolutely did say it. Because I listen, if y'all want to know the truth. Yes, Chaz was there. Chaz was there. Yup. Coach Chaz was there when that happened. Coach Chaz was there when we did that. I see, I'm just letting y'all know that it was real. Like I ain't gonna cap for for the internet. I'm gonna tell the truth. I still believe there should be one team in Hartford. I don't believe that. Listen, Bridgeport. Remember, I went live. That's how we started out of this. I'm not from New Britain, and I can tell you it ain't happening. Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, Waterbury. If we ever figured out how to do that, do y'all understand the amount? Do y'all understand how impactful we could be as young men in our community? Whatever you think your impact is, you will be 9 times more impactful. Imagine walking around an entire city of over 100,000 people, and every single kid is walking around calling you Coach Phil, Coach Tito, Coach D, Coach Joe, Coach whatever. The whole city. I get it now, and we got a piece of the city. Imagine if it was one team, because you don't have to coach every team to be called coach. You don't have to be every team to be called coach. So imagine having the whole city. Imagine putting your city's best talent out there for the nation to recognize it. We always talk about the good old prep schools. I wonder how it's going across town in Hartford with people promising, oh, if you come play for me, I'll get you
personal training
and personal training and all of these lies that they tell. But imagine now when I got the best kids in Hartford. Prep schools is coming to our games. They're going to be our #1 fans because you got the best kids in Bridgeport playing the best kids in Hartford all day long from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because that's how many kids we would be able to fill. And Bridgeport is bigger than Hartford. I want y'all to think about the real impact of what we could do if we really did what we're talking about right now. So LJ said he's going to have that convo. Gil, let me ask you, you think you can start that convo in Bridgeport? Because if we start that convo, that's the only path to ever getting to where everybody really want to go. That's the only path to ever getting to this league that everybody envisioned. Because you cannot do it while you're divided. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone by breaking the rock in half. Beanie Siegel. And I'm telling you, so Mike Brazenio said, parents will keep town split once they feel like they're not getting enough playing time.
That's a fact.
Mike, here's the thing. You can only kill 2 birds with 1 stone if you can break the rock in half. You're going to need coaches and board members to want to split with them. But when the parents can't jump ship out of New Britain, because there is no New Britain Junior Canes, there's one program, and they don't have a place to go, they're going to stay home. They're going to make it work. You know, the woman that want to cheat, and she ain't got nobody to cheat with, so she go home to the husband. That may not be how it works. But anyway, my point is, when you don't have anywhere to go, you come home and you make it work. When the kid in Hartford going, I'm going to the Hartford. damn, I got to stay on the Hartford Hurricanes. The only thing shaking and baking in the city. Now, think about this. How much of, let's take New Britain. Let's take New Britain. I see a lot of New Britain people on here. Hey, New Britain.
Let them talk about it. Please
No,
don't
I'm
ask
not
me
about
my
to talk
opinion.
about it.
Let
I'm
them
not-
talk about it.
No. Hey, New Britain. I got a question for y'all. How much support do you think you would get from your mayor in your city if everybody was under one umbrella? All y'all cheerleaders, all y'all football players, all y'all coaches, and y'all running around with the city. Y'all running around the whole city with the same merch on. They would have to support you. You know why? Because you could do what Phil do. You could say, you know what, everybody? Let's go walk in the city council and have a conversation. I've done that many times with just the Hartford Hurricanes. Filled up the chambers. I've had mayors call my phone and go, yo, bro, what are you doing, homie? Yo, bro, just call me. Don't do that. Call me. I promise you I've had mayors do that. You demand more. We say it all the time, right? It takes a village. That's one of the sayings, right? There's power in numbers. That's one of the sayings. But we don't seem to understand that in youth football. We think there's power in less numbers. That if me and Tito break off and start our own program and we got a certain number of kids, and just because Tito and Phil got a team, we're good because we get a schedule. That's what we believe. But we'll use the slogans on Facebook because it's cool if we post a picture with a hat and we put the nice slogan underneath. Everybody give you 1,000 likes. You feel good about yourself. But we don't really believe in that crap because we don't practice it. We don't practice it. You know, actions is the equivalent to asking a business what they care about. You follow the dollars. On a personal level, you follow what somebody does. Look at the state of youth football. I said we, I didn't say y'all, so don't take it emotional. We don't practice it. It'll be crazy. All of New Britain pull up in Hartford against all of the Hartford kids in one. You know how deep y'all fan base would be? You know how deep Hartford would be? You know the talking that'd be going on when Matt walk across the field acting crazy because he got however good he think his team is now. Imagine the best players of him and Rodney Myers together. Now playing against the best kids in Hartford or Bridgeport or Waterbury. All in one. Oh, you think they pound their chest now? Ooh, you know what the fireworks would be coming out of there with smoke? You might take an hour to let the smoke clear before y'all get to play a game. It'll be a crazy situation. That's all my point. But that would be my idea of greatness in youth football. And the sad part is, I don't think it can happen.
That's your kumbaya moment?
That's my kumbaya.
That's your kumbaya moment?
That would be kumbaya for me.
Just let me know when y'all having a meeting. I want to be a fly in that wall.
That would be kumbaya for me. Sydney Cummins, Bridgeport needs what? I missed it. Same with Manchester East Hartford. Manchester East Hartford could get
Manchester got their own one program. East Hartford is down to one program. I mean,
been saying it for a while. Play where you live. Had a lot of kids to bounce, but they realized it was better to stay. When it's our mayor don't F with us, but your mayor not returning, so the new mayor will because they'll want votes, Matt. It would be nuts. I'm telling you, it would be nuts all over the place. Pause. When we was little playing, I remember the Stars became the Steelers, true. And the only other team was the Bears because they were at Quirk. They went to the Southland teams. Everybody was the Steelers back in the day. Hey, Deuce, fun fact, the Hartford Hurricanes is the Steelers. Across the street from Bowles Park. The Steelers coaches didn't return. I showed up. I called them the Hartford Panthers. We started as the Hartford Panthers, then changed to the Hartford 49ers, then became the Hartford Hurricanes. I kept the name, and we moved on. That's a fun fact for you right there, brother. We are actually the Steelers. See, I knew your son should be playing for the home team. Honestly, it don't matter because all the talent we have, it'll be a massacre trying to show it and give kids playing time. No, it wouldn't. There's never a massacre giving kids playing time. There's a massacre giving kids what they want or what they feel they deserve in a football game. See, the difference is a kid that's scoring a lot of touchdowns now may not score a lot of touchdowns. He may, instead of getting 40, is the dad or the mom okay with him getting 15 and another kid getting 15 and the other kid getting 15. The kids is not the problem. because we're responsible for teaching the kids this game and how to properly interpret the game. Because when they go to college or high school, they're not going to be doing it. So we would have a better opportunity to coach these kids. In my opinion, a better opportunity to show them and teach them the game is not about you. But because we're so trimmed down now, you get one stud running back and you ride that horse till the wheels fall off. Just my opinion. Bring back tryouts. That's irrelevant. But it could be possible. Have an A team and a B team if you got too many kids. I'm okay with that. We 11 on D, 11 on O. Exactly. Matt, I agree. If we had that, imagine if I just took the 10-year-olds in the city of New Britain. You don't think you can, or Hartford, you don't think you can put together an all offense and an all defensive team? 100%. But that'll take coaching. Now, if this was to happen, now we have to start talking about the education of coaches. We have to start talking about educating coaches. What you mean by that, Tyree? Matt, you know damn well everyone want the ball. I don't know that, IJ. I think everybody, parents want the ball. The Hartford 49ers, let's do it. I'll never do that. Never. I'm going to be honest. You know what the Hartford Hurricanes was about to be called? Everybody out there? It was about to be called the Hartford Nittany Lions. I swear. And then Ghost came.
Oh, you had the Hartford Huskies at one point. I remember you thinking about the Hartford Huskies.
The Hartford Huskies was
the combination of all three.
Join Hartford Hurricanes and the Hartford Wildcats.
And no, the Knights at that time. And the
became the Hartford Huskies, mimicked UConn Huskies unis, but had the navy blue with the lime green. That was true. That was before there was any Huskies. Before East Hartford Huskies and Bridgeport Huskies, I offered the Hartford Huskies. That is true. Right? See, and that, Matt, is what I'm saying. If we had everybody on one umbrella, we could strip out what these parents want, strip out what these kids want, and we could really teach football and do what's best for a team. He was part of the Bears, 7-0. They won the chip versus the Jags. That was before I came. The Steelers was a dynasty. All the kids wanted to play for them, not the Stars. The Stars was a dynasty, Rich. Yup, you're right. Tryouts in youth football is crazy. Yeah, you don't even, if you had that, you wouldn't need tryouts. You could do drafts and teams would be talented enough. Again, with the proper education of coaches, you wouldn't need it. I see way too much on my team my son played for, and it's crazy because we have talented kids on the team. I see this way too much on my team. Oh, yeah. I see towns that do basketball do it with football.
Yeah, A, B, C, and T. Yep. I believe you'll definitely be able to do compete, non-compete. I believe that you'll be able to do compete, non-compete.
Yes.
I think there's a way to do it.
And you know what? I have a belief that if I did two teams and I did a tryout to make team A and I mandated that the parents stayed and watched tryouts, they wouldn't be mad when their kid got cut. Parents ain't stupid. They know when their kid not better than somebody else. It's a tough pill to swallow for them. Most parents know when their kid isn't better than another kid. Most parents really do know that. We see it every day. Parents will pull a kid to be a big fish in a little pond rather than swim with the other fish to improve their game and chase stats. Right, but Mike, what if there's no pond? What if there's no little pond? What if there's one ocean and we all in it? What if there's one ocean in New Britain and Mike, little Austin is starting over my son, and I go, no, Mike, I'm taking my son to. All right, he gonna compete for the job, or he'll make B team. Imagine there was nobody to shave off. Imagine if there was nobody to call. If there was no Rodney Myers on the other end of the call. Or if they called Rodney Myers, he go, yeah, I'm actually coaching with Mike. Yeah, we coach together. Oh no, yeah, we all on the same team. Yeah, it's called the New Britain Commanders now. Don't take my name. I'm a Commanders fan. We're the New Britain Commanders. There is nobody else over there. We practice at both locations. We play games here on Saturday and over there on Sundays.
Listen, what I don't want to hear is that, we ain't standing in the way, because I'm getting texts the old heads are standing in the way. We not. Y'all put it. We telling you, y'all put the conversation together.
How have we ever stood?
We're going to show up.
Ideas.
We're going to show up. I'm going to tell you where the conversation is going to die, and it's going to die when what's the board of officials? What's the board of officials going to look like? That's where the whole conversation is going down the stream, like a rowboat, like a paper rowboat.
Hey, everybody out there, all the presidents out there, let me ask y'all a question. Phil the president and Tito's the vice president of the league. Let me know if you would join with your team you on right now. Say yes or no. No, leave it. Yes or no. Y'all can be honest. Y'all ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I don't care less. I have no desire to be.
I have no desire to be on any.
No, Tito. We are the president and vice president of the league. Are you joining? Are you joining? Terrence said, man, T, you ain't no damn you football. Get out of here. Are you joining? We have multiple teams at the same age level in Bridgeport and New Haven back in the days. Correct. We could do the same thing, Gil. That was when it was beautiful football. Because guess what? Junior Pee Wee 1 could play Junior Pee Wee 2 in Bridgeport versus New Haven. Junior Pee Wee 2 could play Junior Pee Wee 1 on the other field. Crisscross. And then next time, you could put them together. Even just those two programs have took 2 of the 8 games that they need. Nobody want to tell us if y'all going to join our league?
Bro,
LJ, where you at, LJ? People love to hate your podcast. Imagine if you was in charge of Connecticut football. That's true. I walk around with tomato blockers on me when
Listen, it's for you next generation of cats to make this happen. It's not for us. We at the end of our run. We not at the beginning and the middle. It's y'all that they got to do something about this, because the truth is, at the rate it's going, within the next 3 to 4 years, this space is going to be real thinned out if we continue this way. So it's up to y'all to make a difference. We put our time in. Me and Phil already got plus 20 years, and yeah, I plan on doing it forever, but still, that's not how life works. It's for y'all to do it. It's not for us to do it. It's for y'all below 35s or below 40s, however y'all want to look at it, because we're not that old, but we put our time in. We was here when it was ran well. We had our chance to be a part of it.
IJ, I see you here. Yeah, that is true, IJ. Little Austin. Austin is taller than me, so maybe I should call him Big Austin now. I don't know. You're right about that. IJ, let me ask you. Your son is a stud. I think he played quarterback or running back in New Britain. Would you be okay if he came off the bench, if it was 2 kids better than him, if it was 1 team in New Britain? Be honest with me. I'd rather my son play with someone that will challenge him, because it's only the beginning for him. I'm his toughest critic. I appreciate that, but I think everybody says that. If you had these big city programs, who would they play? Inner city teams struggle now for games. So, Keith, therein lies where they would play each other.
I gotta go to work. I'm checking off. I'll call you after the podcast. Though.
All right. Yep. I'm gonna be done in about 15 minutes. Keith, herein lies they would play each other. So I'll give you an example, Keith. Let's just take what Gil just said about Junior Pee Wee, right? I used to have Junior Pee Wee 1, Junior Pee Wee 2. Bridgeport had Junior Pee Wee 1, Junior Pee Wee 2. New Haven had Junior Pee Wee 1, Junior Pee Wee 2. 60% of the schedule, or 70% of the schedule, is done just from those 3. We haven't gotten to Danbury. We haven't gotten to West Haven. We haven't gotten to a Stratford. We haven't gotten to Waterbury. We haven't gotten to New London, a New Britain. None of them. It would definitely be enough games. The problem is, let's take Bridgeport, and I ain't picking on Bridgeport, but you got 3 there. So the Raiders got a little bit, the Huskies got a little bit, and the Wakemen got a lot. And it spread it so thin that the Wakemen have fun, and the Huskies and the Raiders, they struggle. Not for kids. I'm not saying y'all struggle. I'm talking about scheduling wise. They're not filled up from 6 to 13U. That's my point. Some organizations around here have D2 and D3 teams. How do we prune the 6 leagues to make that a reality, though? They have the options. So I'm not even talking about leagues, Mike. See, the power's in the people. We'll know that in 2 weeks as well. But the power's in the people, right? And so if the two New Britons get together and the two Bridgeports get together and they elect the board, and Hartford get together and we elect the board, and New London all form back together. By the way, New London, I heard y'all talking about y'all gonna do this, right? And then we meet. We now have the power. We'll sit down with the league and makes them say, okay, here's what we're bringing to the table. What could you offer us? See how that works? We can flip the script. Right now, people can't flip the script on any league because there's no power, because there's no numbers. Just my opinion. One team could be travel and the other team could be in-house. Possibly. Traveling costs a lot of money. Play each other. Hartford, New Britain, Meriden, Warwick. Yes, that will fill a schedule. Hell yeah, that means he's getting better in practice. True. Keep the podcast. Let the young bucks, let us take over the coaching scene. When you say take over the coaching scene, we don't take over the coaching scene, Jay. I mean, you guys have, I think it's more coaches your age than mine. I mean, the problem is, what y'all gonna do with it? Y'all already is in control of it. We're not in control. I'm not in control of anything. I just run one small little town of football. I ain't in control of nothing. I don't watch him sit on the bench going to Florida all-star teams where my child is better in practice, but he don't start because they know the kids out there. But I pay the money because he gets better for it. That's deep. The thing is, in the case of like Dallas coming off the bench, one program with the A and the B team, the third best becomes the starting back on the B team. So he still eats. Correct? I agree. And so, Terry, my point to that was people still going to play. People still going to get better. But then we got to take coaching more serious to be able to navigate having 5 kids with the same talent in Dallas. And how do we make sure we're producing and making all 5 kids better football players to deliver them to New Britain High School? I agree with that. With mad teams, Phil. What you talking about, Laser? I did too much talking. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, listen, I'm not going to take all of your time, but I did want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about some rankings? Let's do some rankings. What do y'all think about that? I didn't do them last week. Let's do them this week. Let's start with 13U Division 1. New England Pop Warner. Let's go. New Haven, you are at number 4 with your loss. Not sure how the Steelers are not number 1 in Southern. That's for another day. By the way, I ain't going to even get into it, but not sure how y'all not number 1. Either way, y'all going to win big and be ready for the championship with a chip on your shoulder. I think you'll have a chip on your shoulder in the championship. I think number 2 is going to be good for you. At number 3, I got Malden. Malden is playing Lawrence. This is an upset alert. Malden, you better come play. You were in regionals last year. This is an upset alert. I'm telling you right now. Be careful. If you don't bring your A game, Malden, I'm predicting you're going to lose. Bill Ricker, you're at number 2. Bill Ricker, you're going to win easy. You play Methuen, not much to see there. Bloomfield is waiting on the Hartford Hurricanes at number 1 slot. Bloomfield is waiting. The Hurricanes is not ranked. They lost 3 games. They don't deserve to be in the ranking. But they're definitely a formidable opponent. Bloomfield, be careful. Hey, this was going to spark some interest and some attitude, but I don't really care. At number 3, 13U Division 2, we going with Drake It. Yes, I know how to pronounce it now. It's Dre, not Dry. Drake It, you are the number 3 team, and you got Wilmington, who's number 1. So sad for Wilmington. They're number 1, but they're going to lose to the best team in that league. They should have waited 1 more week to pull y'all games. Y'all would have been, I think, 5 losses. Might not have made the playoffs, but they did it too quick. Drake It, you at number 3. The Shake-Up, West Haven, you have moved to number 2 team in New England. Yes, I am moving West Haven to number 2. They did nothing wrong. They played a tough schedule. They are winning, but they're not winning as impressive as Water Oak is playing. Phil, they not playing nobody. So what? I have been told that Water Oak is the truth. So I'm putting Water Oak at number 1 in the Division II 13U rankings. Water Oak, you are now on the clock because you have to back that up. Sometimes you get what you ask for. At 12U Division I, let's go. New Britain Junior Canes swamped last week by the Hartford Hurricanes. Wasn't even close, but guess what? That's why you play games in the past. New Britain Junior Canes, you have New Haven coming soon. It'll be the championship game. New Haven is number 2. Clearly the second best 12U Division I team in New England, but that's going to be a good championship game. That's going to be a good championship game. So I'm telling y'all right now, watch out for that New Britain, New Haven game. It'll be good football. I don't think with the way that the Hurricanes have finished the season off, it's clear that they are the best 12U team, right? I don't think that that's a discussion. So sitting at number 1, putting Waterbury on the clock. My prediction this week, and next week, Hartford Hurricanes 12U will move on. I know Wilmington is number 1. I said it. Wilmington number 1, Drake at number 4, but Drake will win. 12U Division II. Now, I got some information I want to share with y'all. Got some information. I was told about a team, DR Dayton Rehoboth, and Seekonk, I can't never get that right, out of Risma, that got a 12U team, and they have advised me that the team looked good enough to compete on a national scale. So with that being said, we have a new number 1 12U D2 team. Windsor 095, you're at 4. You're at 4. You took a bunch of tough losses, but you'll give Manchester a fun championship game. That should be exciting. Seekonk, you took an L to DR, but I still think you in the mix. You'll get another shot of them soon. Manchester Redhawks is on the bye this week, but they are awaiting Windsor, and it's going to be soon, and it should be fun. DR, you are number 1 team. I heard you're good enough to play for a national title. Yes, all of Risma is Division II, Lou. I don't know if it's true or not, but I had a source that I trust tell me that. I'm going to go with it. You are now on the clock as the number 1 team in New England at 12U Division II. It might have been better to stay under the radar. Now Manchester going to be looking for you. Hey, 11U Division I, let's go. Hartford Hurricanes, you're at 4. New Britain Junior Canes, you're at 3. Everett Crimson Tide Gold. New Haven wasn't really impressed watching you, but maybe it's just film. Either way, you're at number 2. I am keeping the Steelers at number 1. I don't think anybody will beat the New Haven Steelers. Laser, I wasn't asking. Oh, Matt, you seen Drake it? You might have to give me some intel, Matt. Maybe Drake it should be up there. They really should be undefeated, but they not. We ain't say that. Yes, you guys did, Nate. Do not try to run from the truth. I didn't say who said it. I just said New Haven said it. New Haven's a big city with over 100,000 people, okay? Do not try to hide. You guys have the dogs. Y'all have the studs. Y'all have the record. Y'all have everything. You must finish the job in New England. 3 more games, man. 3 more games. Let's keep going. Division 2. 10U Division I. At number 3, not hard to tell, is your Waterbury Patriots. Waterbury Patriots 10U have took a slide over the last couple of weeks. I seen them week 1. They were big, they were aggressive, they were fast. But I haven't seen them since. They took a slide the last couple of weeks, but now everybody starts off 0-0. Waterbury Patriots is the 3rd ranked team. Danbury Trojans, you're number 2. Danbury is very, very good, and they've been flying below the radar. I recently found out. Of course, I think you respect all New Haven respect all their competition. That's why you do your homework. I recently found out that Danbury was as good as they got, and that they potentially got one of the best running backs at that age group. So Danbury, you're no longer higher than your number 2, and clearly the number 1 team is the New Britain Junior Canes. I think that goes without saying. All right, 10U, Division 2. At number 3, I got West Haven. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. I think they're the best Division 2 team in Connecticut. I could be wrong. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be hard to beat them. So good luck to everybody out there that's trying to beat them. Okay? All right, number 2, I'm going with the East Bay Warriors. They only gave up, I think, 6 points all year. Something like that. They did lose a game. 1 game. But it's clear that there is a team that exists that's amongst the elites that's sitting by themselves, and somebody's going to have to knock them off. And that's the Edgewood Eagles 10U team. Now, I have clips, and I should play. You know, I got the right. They gave them. Have y'all seen Edgewood 10U? Hey, Rodney Myers is playing Edgewood 10U team, by the way, y'all. It's coming up this week. That is the game of the week, by the way. It's a bowl game. Rodney Myers will be playing Edgewood 10U. Game of the week. The 2 number 1 teams in the region, the Division 1 and Division 2, banging out against each other. Let's see what happens. 9U. Y'all know I do not rank 9U on a D1, D2 scale, but let's say this. I'm putting Chelmsford, Billerica, Lawrence all in the same pot. And then I'm putting the Hartford Hurricanes as number 1. Why? Not because I'm being biased. Nothing more. All 3 of those teams are very good, but they've all beat each other. And the Hartford Hurricanes is undefeated. But either way, there's 4 teams that's going to be there at the end. All 3 of them would cancel each other. The Hartford Hurricanes stands alone. At number 2, at 9U Division 2, the Stratford Renegades. The Stratford Renegades. The Stratford Renegade. Listen, Stratford got some kids that are exceptional football players. Stratford got some 9-year-olds that are exceptional football players. It took breaking it down a lot of film in order to stop those kids. So good luck at Division 2. I don't see anybody beating Stratford, but that's the beauty about football, that they say any given Sunday. Just means you don't be the best 40 minutes of your game. You don't bring the best 40 minutes of your game, you could lose. Don't let it happen. I 8U. Listen, I'm going to put all of the 8U together. By far, Hamden has the best 8U. Listen, Hamden 8U. Every time I go to a field, the last couple of weeks, I went to the West Haven field. I went to Hamden field. Hamden 8U is always kicking somebody's butt. Right when I get there, it's just like happy parade. Hamden 8U is real. So if you think about doing 9U next year, go load up, because they got some dogs right there. They had some dogs at 6U too. Now they got some dogs at 8U. Telling y'all right now, go load up. But didn't we beat y'all at 6U in Hartford? I don't know, Matt. I'm just asking. Didn't we beat y'all at 6U Hartford? No, that was 5 years ago. Never mind. That was 2019. That's a different team. I thought it was the same team. It's not. That would have been 10U, right? But Hamden got some dogs at 8U. Shout out to Hamden. They doing their thing at 8U. Other 8U teams, I'm going to recognize the Boston Raiders. I know they lost to an AYF team, but the Boston Raiders are good. They coach is real. They got a good group of kids. The Boston Raiders, I think the Boston Raiders will win the regional championship at Division 1. I don't have any proof about it at all, but they're talented. They got a good group of kids, and they have the potential to win the regional championship. So shout out to the Boston Raiders. Chicopee Braves, I'm keeping you in the mix. I'm going to call y'all number 3. Chicopee Braves. Hey, Lou, Hamden's Division 2, Boston Raiders number 1, so they won't really meet in the region. But I'm keeping Chicopee Braves in the mix. They're going to play Hamden one more again. Maybe it could be a different outcome. I didn't get to see the game. I know Chicopee's good, but I know Hamden's good because I just watched them play a Division I team and they balled out. That's your rankings. I'll post them. I do not have the top 10 plays this year, but I'll put it together and release it out on the chat room. If you're not already friends, you want to go friend the New England Youth Football chat room. We'll let you in as long as you're a real person. Just tell us where you're from. We'll let you in. Also, you can friend my Facebook page, Phil Bryant, if you would like. You would also be able to get the rankings, the podcast, all the information. And I swear, I am going to put the whole state of Connecticut together. We are going to have one Bridgeport and Hartford and I don't know about New Britain, but we're going to skip and go to Waterbury and the rest of y'all. We're going to do it. What was the Golden Child said when he said, Hanakana? Oh, no, that was Eddie Murphy. Anyway, it's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140. I really got to go. I would love to stay with y'all. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in. It's your boy PH. And just remember, stop complaining about your friends. Oh, it's on this side. Stop complaining about your friends not supporting you because strangers is going to make you rich. Easy.
Hot. I met a boy today.
That's me.
So fine.
If you know, tap in, share the post. It's your boy PH, aka the Prez, aka Mr. Above 140.
Come to my town and get with me. She love I'm around.
It's not about the amount of talent you have. It's 100% about the work ethic. Ask your coach or anybody that's been doing this.
Hot. I met a boy today. So fine.
Why is it? And they're going to say, oh, yeah, it's illegal. Cut this. Cut it out. All you coaches out there, cut it out. Because that's BS.